What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Just Another Tuner. And if you can't tell by the thumbnail, today we're going to be changing out thermostat on the Mazda 3. And we're also going to be addressing some of the oil leaks because some of them, you guessed it, have gotten worse. So stay tuned. So the thermostat is something I've been needing to change out for a while, but I haven't really decided to do that just because I always say that I haven't had the time, but it's just something I just never didn't tackle because my car wasn't overheating. But I think it's just because it sticks open, or it's just real sticky. And it does cause a check engine light, but it's not like it's overheating or anything. So I've just been putting it on the back burner. But for those of you that do need to change out your thermostat, this is what it looks like. It actually comes in one big old piece, and it sits right down in here. If you can see where the yellow is marked, that is where the thermostat is. So pretty much all you do, it's really nothing too difficult. We'll remove the engine on the cover, and we're going to take off the serpentine belt, and we've got to remove this pulley that's right here. And then the two clamps here, you got one here and then one on the big hose down here. Remove those, and then there's 3 bolts, because this thing kind of sits like this inside there. So there's 3 bolts that you just take out, and the thing slides right out, and you replace and then put it in. But of course, before you do that, we gotta drain the radiator. Okay, so we're underneath the car, and I'm going to show you. Well, there we go. I'm going to show you how to drain your radiator, because we can't really do anything until we get all the fluid out. Right here is your drain plug for your radiator. So it's pretty easy. You just unscrew this right here, and it just comes out, and then you just drain it out. So we are on the driver's side of the car. Try to scoot back here. So we're on the left corner of the radiator. So this is where this is located. Hi, blow-off valve. That looks so good. But okay, anyway, back to things at hand here. All right, so we got our pan, our drain pan. Check. Okay, now you need a flathead screwdriver, and then you just start unscrewing that, and we're going to drain it out. So before we actually drain, I like to come up here and just loosen the fill cap up here, so it takes pressure out of the system. It just makes it easier. So I don't leave it completely off, because obviously I don't want dust and crap flying in there. So I just loosen it and then just kind of tighten it back on, just so it stays on and keeps it covered. So now we're going to grab our screwdriver, get back underneath there. Alright, let's do this take 2. Make sure you have a big enough screwdriver, because the other screwdriver was too small. So. So the whole draining process could take a couple minutes. It's going on about 5 minutes now, and it's still draining down there. I don't know if you can hear it. Let's see. Here. So it's definitely taken a minute. So while we're still waiting for that to drain, flip the camera around here. There we go. And now you can see what we're doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting some of the prep work done up here. As far as what we need to go ahead and get out of our way so we can begin this process journey of changing out this thermostat. Alright, so now we're going to take off this serpentine belt. So with this pulley right here, I think it's a 13 or 14 wrench. I will clarify that here in just a second. But you put a wrench on here and you should push it toward the back of the car and to where this will loosen up and you can pull the belt right off. Then after we do that, you got a bolt here and a bolt here and a bolt here. And then we're going to remove this pulley. And that's all it is just a tensioner pulley. So it's nothing, no lines or anything going to it. So it just makes it easier to get down to the thermostat. So that is what we're going to do now. It is a 14 that takes off this bolt right here. So all you do is you put your wrench on the bolt here, and you can take another wrench and put it on the open top here, and you can actually get more leverage on it to be able to push it forward. So as soon as you get that forward, you can just pop your belt right off. And I just kind of just set it to the side because unless you just really want to run it back around everything that's supposed to run around, it's already where you need it. Alright, and there you have it. It's out. So we're just going to set this out of our way because we don't really need it right now. I set the bolts up here. Now I've kept them in the order on where they go. So these are the two bottom ones, left and right, and then the top one. Alright, so now you got full reign of the thermostat. And this is it right here. So we're gonna check our drain here in a minute to see if it's fully drained out. Looking here, I still got some in there. You're gonna have some fluid leak out of here no matter what. So before we start pulling these hoses off, because it sits right above your alternator, as you can tell, I'm gonna get a plastic bag and try and wrap it around that alternator to try to keep fluid and stuff from going down into that before we remove those hoses. So that's, you can just use any kind of plastic, but plastic bags is what I normally use and it works just fine. So just try to put it in between the hose here and your alternator and just wrap it around the best as you can before you rip those hoses off, because you don't want to take that chance of damaging your alternator. Alright, so I got it covered as the best that I can, so I'm going to go ahead and move my drain, or I'm going to put my plug back in, and then I'm going to move my drain pan over underneath this, because it's about positive that when you pull these hoses off, you're going to get some loose fluid. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so that was a big chore. I would recommend taking off the top one first. Like I tried the bottom one, but that one was tough. So the top one, I was able to get it off, and after you get it off, you can just kind of move it out of the way. I just kind of propped it right here. And then the bottom one, after you get it off, I just kind of moved it down out of the way there. So now this is gonna be the fun part. So we got 2 bolts right here, just like I said earlier. And then you got one that's back here on the other corner. So here's our other thermostat for perspective. So this is how it sits in there, as you can see. And here's how the 3 bolts are. So you got 2 at the top and then 1 down there in the corner. So the one in the corner is obviously going to be the tricky part, but you should be able to get to it as long as you have an extension. Should make it easier. So let's do this. Alright, so here's the old one. We got it out, obviously. And here's the new one. Just comparing them side by side, they do look a little different. Like, I'm not sure why, but I mean, it is the same size. I was noticing too on this old one, it doesn't say anything about it being an actual like OEM part for the car, and this one does. Cause this car, even whoop, come on camera mount. Even though this car is not a Ford, it does have some Ford parts. So, but this is actually stamped. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. See, FOMO Co. Ford Motor Company. So this is a genuine part. The one that was on there was not. So apparently this was replaced at some point before I got the car. So, all right, so we're gonna do the reversal, but first I'll just take a rag and just kind of wipe around the edge of where the thermostat goes down here on the housing. I'll show you here. I'm just gonna kind of just wipe this off really good to make sure that it gets a really good seal. And then we're gonna just do the reversal process. Just stick the new thermostat back in, put the new 3 bolts in, put the hoses back on, put the pulley back on with the hose. So let's get the thermostat in. see the car's running now. We got it all back together. We got the fluid in. So now what you're going to do is you want to leave your car running for a couple minutes with your cap off. So all the bubbles that have developed into the line are going to go through the line, and they're going to come out of here. As you can see, you can kind of see it bubbling in here right now. So it's all the bubbles are going to work its way out. So you just want to leave your car running for a couple minutes, let it get up to temperature, and then you should be good to go. So this concludes today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped you out if you're trying to change out your thermostat. It's really not that hard. It's not too time consuming as long as you don't break stuff. But anyway, stay tuned for Wednesday for part 2 of the step-by-step guide series of how to turbo a Mazda 3. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there will be a link up in the corner to show you to part 1 of how to turbo a Mazda 3 step-by-step. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and see y'all Wednesday.